YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Last Cloudia news and information video. You can see on my screen we have the info reveal for the newest character coming to Last Cloudia tomorrow, Mechanical Murren. What a shocker that all of our speculation was correct. It was pretty easy to identify. Thank you to everyone who told me the piece of clothing is an apron. Very surprised that I just could not think of that yesterday, but at the same time, your boy Buddha has a bit of a slow processor. So, some interesting stuff with this guy. I did look through all this information already, but you already know in this video we're going to deep dive, dissect, and try to understand as much as we can in the game. So let's go ahead and see what he's bringing. Mechanical Murren, looking pretty clean. S1 is 5 hits, Wild Impact is 11 hits, and Spiral Dasher is 18 hits. Ultimate weapon, we are looking at, it seems to me that it's one enemy. 37 hits, I was waiting for that. Jeez Louise. Something I was thinking about, it's a shame that they don't show things like the normal attack, because now that that's a very important part of a unit's kit, it'd be nice to see that along with the skill animations, and got me thinking of when they released Shift Eliza, and she had her unique spell Big Bang. It'd be nice to see any kind of unique attacks that the character is bringing in these showcases. Just gonna throw out my 2 cents there. However, let's take a look at the traits. The first one is Hard Metal Research. Chance to resist flinch from non-thunder physical attacks. Cool. I always like no flinching. Not quite super armor. It's a chance to resist the flinch, so we'll have to see what that means exactly. Physical attack and special damage taken minus 60%. Quite the debuff that we are used to seeing in a lot of these traits. But magic attack damage taken plus 20%. So my first thoughts are Arena right there. If you're planning on using this guy, I mean GG. We have the Shift Eliza Maja meta right now. Just one tapping anything with their attack magic. So this guy is an easy target for easy kills there. Chance to get stunned when taking thunder magic attacks. So this dude is adopting this horrendous ability that Lambda, the world boss, has. Part of the initial strategies for beating Lambda were to make sure you had some type of thunder attack, whether it be lightning gauge or thunder magic, so that you could keep Lambda in this constant state of stun, and it seems like Murren unfortunately suffers from that same fate, so not very happy with that kind of infliction, personally. Trait 2 is Mechanic, Machine Equipped, Machine STR plus 100%. And fire damage plus 40% and damage cap plus 8,000. So a pretty meta damage cap number for a trait. Not the craziest, but 8k I'm not mad at. He's also getting that chivalrous mindset kind of buff from his trait, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but we've talked about in the podcasts that, that'll only age better as we get more equips that give us better stats on them. So Wave Start, boost units HP defense based on number of machine types in party up to 40%. So that's pretty conditional, not the best. I mean, maybe worth it if you're trying to build a team comp around Murren to throw on, Mimicry Machine, but it's a little conditional for my liking. I mean, from these traits, I'm getting a bruiser vibe for sure. He's got a lot of physical and special damage mitigation up there. Not necessarily to magic attacks. He's super susceptible to magic based on that trait one. But in terms of resisting physical and special damage, right, he's got the HP defense buff and this damage reduction. With a sizable damage cap and damage modifier. So I think let's move on to the abilities and see what their exact descriptions are. We have his skills. Let's check them out. Skill 1, Earthshaker frontal jumping medium area fire combo attack. Skill 2, wild impact, wide area long range fire combo attack around the target, punch attack damage cap plus 30,000. I'm personally not a fan at all of these like specific type of hit has the damage cap in these skills. I don't like the direction Last Cloudia is going into that. However, we can see with Murren they're leaning into that heavily. Skill 3 is Spiral Dasher. Charge and deal a frontal medium area fire combo attack that pushes enemies. Hopefully it pushes enemies in a plural sense as described here, unlike Shift Millum, who only pushes one enemy. Tragically to her kit's demise. And his special ultimate weapon, powerful frontal wide area combo attack, punch attack damage cap plus 100k. Again, since it's this one type of hit in the special that has that damage cap, it does not excite me at all. So let's go ahead and move on to hopefully some better information for me to sink my teeth into. We've got the skill board, Mechanical Murren skills. He does have a charisma, all machine type allies, STR and defense plus 30%. Again, not the biggest fan of stat increase charismas, and again, very conditional, only going to work with machine types, so you will want to bring the machine mimicry in order to take advantage of his charisma and his trait too. But again, the buffs are just not tempting enough to incentivize me to want to do that personally. Rare metal body, draw more enemy attention. Alvin, thank you. Draw more enemy attention, but become less likely to faint and boost movement speed. So he's getting an allure stack. Again, emphasizing maybe physical and special tank with some bruiser vibes with those damage multipliers that he was getting. Let's keep on reading. Anti-type shield. Anti-type effect attack damage taken minus 10%. Not a big lowering to that amount of damage taken at all, considering anti-type damage is at minimum 50%. So only getting a 10% decrease to that doesn't seem like it's super impactful to me. Machine Mastery. Interesting here. When unit has machine type, give an anti-stone type effect to physical, magical, special, and counter damage taken from stones minus 10% and skill damage plus 10%. The masteries, if you can't already tell, we'll also check out the in-game notice, but masteries got a bit of an overhaul as well, which is pretty cool. Powerful motor, SCT recovery speed minus 10%, so they're going to charge more slowly. But skill damage plus 30% and damage cap plus 5,000. Break plus 125%. Now, break having an additive percentage boost is never as exciting as it initially sounds. I was reminded back in the day when we had, I think it was Lancevale with his plus 100% to break, or 150. The plus makes it not as crazy as you might think. However, Murren may be a fantastic breaker, which could save a lot of my concerns in how this unit just is overall. Then he's got Machine Buster, so he's the second unit to have a Buster after Roland. Give physical attack, special, and counter an anti-machine type effect. Cool. Mineral extraction, item drop rate in quest times 1.35. So this is the biggest item drop rate multiplier that we have on a unit. Reminds me of how Granados walked in with a plus 100% XP modifier in his kit. We now have Murren, who's introducing this 35% increase in item drop rate. Maybe we'll be able to play around, see where that's useful, but again, doesn't excite me personally too much. And then he also does have armor HP plus 3. So armor equipped HP plus 20%. Here's the thing. They're promoting, in my opinion, more of a bruiser vibe because he does have some damage mods and he has some damage cap. However, they're also wanting you to run him as a single wielder so you can get this armor advantage. But I'm thinking if he is a substantial breaker, we know that breaking is literally doubly as effective if you're dual wielding, and if he's able to deal any considerable damage. He'll need to be dual wielding to get the most out of that. So I've got very mixed feelings on how this guy's built, or at least how they want you to build him. Looking at skills we already know of: Fighting Spirit 3, Fighting Spirit 4, Resolve up 5, Defense up max, Beast Alliance, Guard, Vigilance, Heal Guard, Guard Charge, Auto Protection, Silas System, Fiend Shield, Breaker, Fire Drive, Fire Mega Drive, Fire Attack Raise 3, Machine High Boost, Machine Mega Boost, Sharp Eyes, Shockwave 2, Auto Brave, Omomatic System, and Ultimate Boost 3. This guy, I think they want him to be the Granados of Blaze Garden. He's not quite what I'd consider to be a bruiser, especially coming with this little bit of a guard package. That usually tells me that the design of the character is leaning towards tank more than bruiser. He's also got all those physical damage decreases, special damage decreases, however, super susceptible to magic damage and specifically thunder type attacks. Not just thunder magic, but he can also still flinch from physical thunder type attacks. So they definitely showed his Achilles heel in that first trait, and then we can see that, you know, it looks like you can probably scale him between a physical and special damage tank and somewhat of a bruiser slash breaker, maybe, depending on his innate break values. If you decide to dual wield him, getting a little bit of a, you know, what is that, 13,000 damage cap with his trait and a powerful motor right there. He's also got Fire Mega Drive, so he's got a little more damage cap there. Let's keep on moving forward. This is super interesting. Because, alright, I'm just going to tell you right now, Murren is a permanent unit. He's a premium gacha crystal unit, which means he's going to be on every banner moving forward. He's not Descent of Heroes. That's what makes this UR reveal so interesting. We have never, in the history of Last Cloudia, seen a UR released alongside a permanent unit. So, throwing a lot of the player base off, rightfully so. But let's go ahead and see what it's bringing. So Holy War, Arc trait, physical attack damage plus 15%, physical attack damage taken minus 10%. For 15 seconds when an enemy activates a special, give all allies a damage taken minus 50% and damage cap plus 1000 buff once per wave. When unit is alive, all allies skill damage cap plus 1000. So they really limited those damage caps. Very conditional. The enemy has to launch a special to get half of it, and then only skills, right? Your S1, 2, and 3, something I go over in the 2022 Beginner's Guide if you're new and haven't checked that out. Wink, wink. That's what's going to get that second part of the damage cap. So I'm not mad at the Arc trait, but I'm also not enamored. Then the Arc skill at max skill level. Remember, you have to get the Arc skill level to 10 with either 9 duplicates or 9 UR Stardusts. All allies get HP cap plus 10,000, recover HP, and get a damage from bosses minus 50% buff, and a nullify insta-kill buff. Excludes some insta-kill effects. The only insta-killing mechanics that I can think of are the Falmega Fire Harvest, where its time stops and then picks a certain unit on the team to like kill. That has the chance to insta-kill. And then we also have, if I'm thinking, the Reaper Mob mechanic, where if you normal attack them, you just instantly die. So is that what maybe is excluded from these insta-kill effects? Maybe it's only things like what Falmega does. And that then leads me to think maybe we're going to be getting more bosses. Because remember, we have the Maze of Tartarus scheduled to be released. That's going to be the game mode that allows us to, or forces us to use older generational units. So maybe there will be more bosses in there with that kind of insta-kill kind of thing. Just because, as I said, I can't think of anything except Falmega that has an effect where this is useful at all. The HP cap, recover HP, and damage reduction, that's very considerable. I think people are going to sleep on that. That's a huge defensive buff, massive defensive buff to the team. Learnable skills, resolve up 2, guard vitals, Godbuster, Giant Killing 2, That's what's interesting to me. And Proud Force and Vitality Phaser. So, as it stands now, I'm not like the biggest fan of these busters. I mean, not that I'm not a fan of them. It's cool that it's more than just a Slayer because it increases your special damage as well as your counter. But with counter still being very irrelevant, we still need to see an update that makes counter even better. It's nice that you get a little bit of a special boost, but I feel like nowadays, I don't know, I just don't see specials being super meta unless you're using Alice, who already has more than enough to cap on all of her special damage if you have the right stuff. So especially considering these busters are probably going to be more than 9 SC, which is already very expensive for the Slayer package or the anti-damage package. The busters don't excite me that much. We'll see what the SC costs in game, but Giant Killing 2 is nice because that's just another form of increasing your damage cap against bosses, which is typically where you want the most damage output. So, interesting arc. I think I'm sleeping on it. Maybe a lot of other people will be sleeping on it until we start seeing it used. When the arc skill is at level 10, the trade I'm not super enamored with. I don't know. It might just be underwhelming as it currently sounds. So. Then we have the AER. It is an accessory 7-star. Amulet of the Vow. The trait damage from bosses minus 5% when there are at least 2 living allies. Damage from enemies minus 10%. The stats HP 200, defense 31, mind 57. But what's very, very nice about this AER is that you get a resist to all status ailments, which is always a huge benefit from an accessory if you're going for a defensive build against your pesky status ailments. So I'm not mad at this AER at all. For a UR AER, sure, this UR is way more focused on, I think, the defensive capability, increasing your team's defenses. So this AER lines up with that. I'm not mad at it. And then before even looking at the in-game notice, this is where you can see that Murren is not a Descent of Heroes unit. Because whenever they just say Mechanical Murren does whatever they do, or whatever character, here's their slogan, and it doesn't mention Descent of Heroes, that's telling you, if it's not a collab, that it is a premium unit, aka a permanent unit. So again, very, very interesting to decipher that. But now moving over to the in-game maintenance notice, because there's not too much to go over here. Thank you for playing Last Cloudia. We will see maintenance occur at midnight tonight to 3 a.m. Pacific time. So make your adjustments accordingly. 3-hour maintenance. Maintenance details, new unit arc added, event updates, gacha updates, promo updates, shop updates, various improvements, other updates, and token of apology. Here we can see the portraits for the new unit and new arc. I didn't even talk about the artwork for this UR arc. Very, very cool. The lore behind this scene is very intriguing. I'm not going to get too much into spoilers, but again, they're not disappointing with their UR arc. However, Mechanical Murren, I see a lot of different opinions on this guy, how they drew him. You know, you've got your meme lovers, who I understand love how he looks here. However, is it a stretch to say, with what we've come to expect with Last Cloudia artwork, what am I looking at here, Adis? What is this? This looks like artwork from the story, right? When the character pops up, when they're saying their dialogue in the story. This does not look like unit portrait art to me. So this is also where it mentions you can get the above unit arc from the premium crystal gacha. That's what signifies a permanent unit. However, I do not believe the UR arcs going to appear in the permanent crystal gacha or the ticket gacha. So there you go. So this is a UR featured banner that is not going to carry over to a permanent banner like Murren is. Very weird format. I don't know who pulled the trigger on this decision after I just got done expressing how I think setting up expectations for your players to, you know, expect a consistent product every update, that's more healthy than throwing curveballs at us like this and just confusing the player base. Like, so what's possible now? Are we gonna get collabs with a UR and an LR? Like if you're just gonna start switching up the whole flow, what else are we just not going to be able to predict moving forward? And maybe that's a strategy they have. It's just, in my opinion, going to hurt your player perception overall. So, weird format, real funky. Let's move on. Event updates, event spirit of an old engineer released. I mean, this looks cool though. In this event, collect various types of materials on quest to craft 5 types of event equipment. So anytime we can craft event equipment, I'm not mad at that type of event. You can also get items like the premium gacha tickets through crafting. Plus, for a limited time, you can use items that drop in the event to upgrade some equipment at 100% success rate, covert gun Trishula and bolt cannon blades. Seeing as though I'm already done with these 2 things, that's whatever. However, it's nice that they're bringing back another event that gives you a guaranteed way to get your Trishula to plus 40, as well as bolt cannon blades, which is a URAER. However, it is a Godforged weapon, so any easier way to upgrade that piece of equipment is definitely appreciated, I'd say. Featured rewards, we can see prisms for Murren, event equipment, event stamps, and premium gacha tickets. Great work. Nice little fun stamp we're getting. He's an old man based on the way his face is sitting. We can see the event units that give you bonuses in their respective areas. Tower of Trials is returning, so as I described before, I'm very excited to run my little team. Alice, Roland, Shift Eliza, and probably Maja. It's going to be just quite destructive. We're getting an update to the Chronicles section. I did just describe also in the Beginner's Guide, Chronicles is their way to introduce old limited time events as permanent events that are accessible. You can get all the rewards from there, so no one is really left out. Record of Glory, Valor of Crimson Flame. I don't know who Record of Glory. Maybe that's Tinkili. Maybe. This is probably Vaughn right here. About Chronicles, right, tells you exactly what's going on. Gacha updates. Here's the premium crystal gacha that we're used to seeing, a permanent unit and a permanent arc, but this time there's a UR sitting there, which is weird. For that gacha though, we have rate up here, we have rate up on the step up, but on the ticket gacha they only put Murren on rate up, not the UR arc. So much progress in the gacha revamping that we just got during the 3rd year anniversary, only to take a glaring step backward. Very, very sad to see this. Very, very sad to see this. I don't think this is like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is more like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. But it still sucks to see this decision being made. Rate up Mechanical Murren at Holy War in the step up gacha. Mechanical Murren is guaranteed on lap 3, step 5. If you want to pay $300+ for him, and there's the period that it will be active until May 25th. Promo updates, we can see the spring login bonus released, giving us some gacha tickets, some clusters, and some other materials, which are fine. Training promotion released. Why don't we go ahead and see what we're getting. We're getting grand ability gates. People, especially new players, asking how to get crystals. This is one of the main sources to do that when it is here. Special gear upgrade field. This is very nice if you don't have your tours completely unlocked and you're working on Godforge equips. This will be a nice way for you to get weapon shards, equipment shards, and alchemoliths, which help increase that rate of alchemy success. Soul accumulation coming back for the time that it's here, so that's nice. 30 souls per day per unit you decide to run solo in this stage. That's the key word, run a unit solo, so you force the RNG to give that unit the unit souls, okay, for any more newbies out there. And we're moving on to arena promotion released. I just talked about this in the beginner's guide. How funny that during these arena promos you can get 200 arena points per day rather than 50, which means you can get spell render that much more quickly, literally 4 times as fast. And that's step 1 in arena. Make sure you get spell render out of the shop. Shop updates, pick up your free Murren pack. We're getting crystal packs. Various improvements regarding mastery type skills. The anti-type effect has been expanded to include not just physical attacks, but magic special counter as well. Very cool. I'm not mad. Much more inclusive, much more beneficial, depending on the unit and, you know, different ways that you want to use them. The skill explanations have been clarified for some skills. Doesn't give us any specifics, but okay. The features button on the home screen has been removed. So, Demos, aka Panda, pointed this out. This is like the fastest a unit has, or a feature has been introduced and then taken away. I don't think anyone was liking that at all. Added a filter function to the trading spaces, so we'll have to see what that looks like in game. Other updates, we can see the bug fixes here. This is where they are going to put exclamation points back on your daily missions, which is nice. And then this one's interesting. When using an arc skill while counter is active, damage may be higher than normal. People were playing around with this, I think when, oh, I can't remember. It was when they did the counter revamp. Something happened where you could get like counter benefits on UR arc skills. So people were memeing with Dora, who when he counters, it's a guaranteed crit. So if you activated the arc skill while he was in counter animation, all of the UR arc hits would be criticals, which was funny to see, but Adis didn't mean to break the game like that. Not that they broke the game, but they're fixing it. So that's not going to be a thing anymore. And then we're getting a token of apology, 300 crystals, 30 orange orb recoverers. I'm not mad at that at all. And thank you for playing Last Cloudia. Management team, there is the update, guys. There is the info for Murren, and there is your boys' thoughts on everything going on here. A lot of mixed feelings, a lot of weird stuff. It'll be interesting to see Murren in game and see how easily maybe he can reach his damage. What way Tweaks is probably going to want to use him, whether it's more on the bruiser side or more emphasizing the tank physical damage and special damage tank side. But we'll see that in the Power Creep podcast tomorrow, which I do need to give y'all an update on. It will still be happening, but your boy will not be there. I will not be hosting the Power Creep podcast. I did pick up a gig back in my hometown, so I'm driving back down tonight to work tomorrow. I'll be gone Friday and probably able to start making videos on Saturday, but with how our usual schedule is, I'll probably be MIA until Monday, unfortunately. So not an update I'm super sad about missing out on. Very curious to see what you guys think in the comments. But in terms of the Power Creep podcast, make sure to go over to Tweaks' channel or pay attention there. Subscribe, because that's most likely where the podcast will be hosted if all things stay the same as planned. That's all I got for you this time, guys. Like, subscribe, bell noties. If you're new, welcome to the Buddha gang. Welcome to Last Cloudia. Check out that beginner's guide if you're looking for a great way to start this game without feeling too lost. Highly recommend it. Hope it helps out a lot of you guys. And with all that being said, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play hard. See you in the next video.